Oh my, that's on the video. How long were you in there? Like 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Since we went outside?
Yes. You don't know how to just turn the key. You shouldn't have even pulled it out. Y'all, sorry about that. Mason's been hiding in here while I was getting ready. And then as soon as I went live, he jumped out and scared me. For all of y'all to see, you'll have to see it on the rebroadcast. But, oh, I'm flushed now. He literally, I was like,
popcorn?
Yes, you may. I was like, hey, everybody. I was like, hey, everybody, how you doing? Boo. Did I cuss? I don't even know what I said. Oh, man. That's literally scary. So we're in a phase here in our household, and I'm not loving this part. It's sweet and all, but it's also like he is hiding, and he will hide for, my eyes are like probably just shot. Um, uh, he just will hide, and then he can hide for like 20 minutes somewhere. And I think I got a wrinkle coming up right there now. He can hide for like 20 minutes somewhere. Just he's got the patience for it, waiting on me to walk out, and then boo, and then just. I mean, I startle so easily. I cry as easy. I startle as easy as I cry. Honestly, I am one of those people where you could be in the room with me and you say boo, I'm gonna get startled even though I know you're there. Like that is how I am. So anyway, well, that was a fast start to the show today. If you're just joining, you have to watch on the replay. Mason scared the shit out of me at the beginning, just as I went live. So I don't know how much of that you saw. I don't know where it goes live. There's like a 20-second delay. So maybe you saw all of it. I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna need more of this tonight. I just turned that one. So good. Oh, well, how's your day going? Other than me just borderline having a heart attack right now. By the way, look, have you seen the newest addition to my set? I found this. I forgot that I own this. This is the Squatty Potty unicorn that I think I got it as a promotional thing. He poops rainbows. Claire found that and she's like, you got to put that in the background. So he has a funny name. It's like, I don't remember what it is, but Squatty Potty, Squatty Potty is the thing where you can sit on the toilet and it raises your feet up so that the poop works better or something. I don't know. So you don't pinch it. Just Google Squatty Potty. Probably now that I've said it 16 times, you're not going to see it in all your social feeds. But yeah. Anyway, Amy loves the sweater. Thank you. I love anything with just like a big graphic on it. Like I have a couple of them. Funny enough, I have like 2 or 3 that have tiger faces on them. And this is cheap. It's like from Old Navy. I don't even think it's expensive at all, but it's like this one I have a Mickey Mouse one also. The Mickey Mouse one is a little bit nicer. It's kind of like a yearbook, not yearbook, Letterman's jacket, like that pointillism kind of thing. This I think is just ironed on. But it's a separate thing, so it's not screen printed. So and it's for better Squatty Potties for better flow is what Monica is saying. Did the erection happen? Yes, we had our reindeer erection this morning. Yes, our reindeer is fully erect in the front yard, our second one. You want to see how big this thing is? So this is a photo I took 2 years ago when we first put it up. This is the reindeer that we put up in our yard today, that we made ourselves. It's made from scratch. I bought some plans online at this place called Winfield Collection. Most of the stuff at this Winfield Collection sells is garbage. It's like don't pee in the pool signs and like weird Sasquatch things and like really just like country hokey stuff. But they have all this Christmas stuff too. And so that is me. So keep in mind, I am 6'4", barefooted. And so if I have shoes on and my hair big, I'm like 6'6". That is how this thing is, I think 18 feet tall, 15 feet tall. And it is quite an endeavor. It takes multiple people. And what we had to do with this morning, so they were going to do it yesterday. They rescheduled for this morning, which was fine because it actually took a little longer than expected. And if we had done it at 5 o'clock yesterday, it would have probably been dark before we got done. You see the guy wires and stuff coming down from it, holding it down. But it goes up, and funny enough, it stores flat. Michelle is saying, where in the world do you store that thing? It stores in our attic. We have a second one that is all of the lower half, basically from the neck down, it's identical, but its head is feeding, and it's got the same horns and everything, but the neck piece is feeding. So it's the same size, but just not as tall. But it stores flat. Literally, each of those things is a piece of plywood. But this is like 6 pieces of plywood, I think, 8 pieces of plywood to make this. And they store flat, and they store in our attic. It is really, really time consuming to get it up and down out of the attic. But other than that, it's not hard. And so, yeah. And Michelle is saying, Michelle, my next door neighbor, is saying, your decorations look amazing. Thank you. We got to get the spotlight on this reindeer still. They're painted like this optic white, so the spotlight comes on. It's like, what? I've actually seen our house when decorated from an American Airlines plane taking off from DFW, and knowing where to look. It's like, oh, there's our house. Whoa. But and it weighs a ton. Monica is saying yes. Hey, Monica, one of the things. So Monica and Mike. Monica's my sister, obviously. Mike is her husband. They usually come up and help us with our erection, right? And if you have a dirty mind, that is the proper use of that word. I wouldn't call it a reindeer putting upper. You call it a reindeer erection, right? So they help us, and it is so top heavy. As you can imagine, that thing is so top heavy. This year, what we did instead, genius, is that we had, so I don't know if I told you, so the people who put the lights on the edges of the house, which you can see in that photo, I have referred them so much business that, like, what can we do to repay you? What can we do to repay you? I was like, you can help me put up my fucking reindeer. That's what you can do. And so they're like, done. And so this morning they came by and we did it. And it was 2 guys this morning, but they have all the right tools. So normally what you do when you put this thing together is that you put the body together and the head, and then you put the ears and the antlers on it. And then you put the back legs on it. No, you do you do the head and the body, and then you put the back legs on it. And then you the front legs on it rather, and then you put the antlers on it also, and then you kind of tilt it so you can put the back legs on it. And gravity is not your friend. It wants to bring that thing down on top of you. It is so scary that just for like 5 seconds of it is like terrifying. This time what we did instead, we did not put the antlers on it until it was up, and then the roofer, or the people who get on the roof to put the lights up, they had these massive ladders, these A-frame ladders, which we put up, bloop, bloop, super easy. But anyway, it was awesome. And I'm going to tell you something. That is like the height of, I'm going to take this off the screen now, but that is how big that is. It is the height of adulting, by the way, when you are lusting over some ladders. Todd is already like, I want a ladder. I want a extendable A-frame ladder from Werner or Little Giant or something like that. Big Giant, Big Little Giant. I don't know. For Christmas, like that. He this morning was like, "This is what I want. I want a ladder for Christmas." That if that is not adulting, I do not know what is. Right? So, lusting over a ladder. Let's see. Michelle is saying it does not appear to be a boy reindeer anyway. They are not anatomically correct. Maybe we have lesbians, because they both are the same. Maybe it's gays inside and lesbians in the front yard. I don't know. And Sandy loves it. Yes. Oh, and Eric is saying the patches on Letterman's jackets are called chenille. That makes sense. Yes, that makes total sense. This is more of like a needlepoint, but chenille is what my Mickey Mouse one is, and a couple of my other ones. And Monica is saying that is cheating. Oh, it was so much easier. So much easier. Of course, Todd can't. Here's the funny thing about this, and I'm not bad-mouthing Todd, but I always say everything before but is bullshit. This is one of those situations. Todd is so terrified of heights. Monica is as well. I have no fear of heights whatsoever. The only time I don't like heights is when I'm having to transition from one surface to another, like a roof to a ladder, something like that. Like I'm the one who gets up on the RV roof all the time and sweeps stuff off, walks around, looks at stuff, like no big deal. I have no problem with it at all. I never have had a fear of heights. I just don't like the fear of falling, like the transition stuff. So with this ladder, these guys though, they just threw it up, and it was like an 18-foot ladder, 15-foot ladder, just whoop, whoop. I think I could do that. That's not too bad. And nothing is, the horns aren't heavy at all. They're just big. I enjoy figuring out which way to drop and roll when it comes crashing down. Yes. I literally was on, when they were doing the rear legs, I was in charge of the front. I literally had my arms just locked, just straight up locked, just every ounce of my body weight. I don't have much strength, but I got the weight. And so I'm just like, holding on to it to keep it from tilting forward. I think last time we did it, Monica, didn't we like tie a rope around its tail so that, and then stake it into the ground so at least the butthole would catch it? Should get a little Sharpie. Go out there, being the mature man that I am. Go out there with a little Sharpie and a little puckered butthole on each of them. Todd would hate that. I know. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. No fear of heights, yet he wants a gigantic ladder for Christmas that I will get on. That's the thing, which I don't mind. I always say, and this, I didn't make this up, but every job is easier with the right tools. If you have the right tools, it is so much easier to do anything. Like this morning, it was like done and done. So much easier. And that's the thing Monica's saying. It's the head, when it has the horns on it, the head like thrashes until you get the guide wires down. Guide wires, I think what they're called, down. So without the horns, it didn't do that. It was awesome. And I've talked way more about this. This is really some inside Christmas baseball stuff. But yeah, anyway. What else did I do today? Talking about adulting. So my car, I bought it 3 years ago on New Year's Eve to take advantage of some tax benefits. And it is coming out of warranty. So I was like, oh shit, I got like 20 days to get my car serviced. And so the service, that's not covered. But I got a couple of things. It's a Range Rover, so there's always stuff broken on it. The back door has the automatic shutting door, so you kind of just click them close and they suck in. Well, one of them is only kind of halfway sucking in now, and so I got to get that fixed. The battery is still, it's just giving me trouble because I'm not driving it enough, I guess. I don't know. Maybe there's an electrical leak. That may not even be the right word. Getting that checked off. Got to get my inspection done because it's due this month. Jody, who may be watching, that was the other car that had the really expired inspection. That was Todd's car. That was not my car. Mine is actually up to date. Got that done. And then also made an appointment at Discount Tire to have them plug up, because I have a really slow leak in one of my tires, which just, if you live in a big city, especially like Dallas, you're constantly having to get your tires fixed. And so I made an appointment with Discount Tire to have that fixed as well. But tell me this, do y'all write, and I may have talked about this before, but do you, have you ever, let me rephrase that. One of the things I do to trick myself into thinking that I've had a very productive day is I'll make a to-do list. And then as I do things that are not on the to-do list, I will write them down at the bottom of the to-do list and then scratch them off. I'm like, schedule car service. That's not something I thought I was going to do today. Wrote it down just so I could write it off. Schedule tire service. Do y'all do that? It's just mental fuckery is what it is, but it makes me feel accomplished and I'm there for it. So Monica's wondering if the crews had shirts. Nope. So my sister, this is a hilarious story. My sister last year, I think it was that the last time I saw you maybe? Have I seen you since then? I think it may be the last time I saw you was at the last reindeer erection. God, that's sad. So last time they came up, they had t-shirts made that said, and big letters on the back, erection crew. That's what it said. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. And then we go on public. So we went to Home Depot. Was that also when I bought the live Christmas tree and put it in the back of my car? And then my narc-ass daughter told on me. I think that was that same one. Everyone was like, "Ooh, erection crew T-shirt. What's that about?" And then my office actually got like an hour before because we did an erection party, reindeer erection party last year as well. It was in the driveway. We made chili, like shit tons of chili. Made a signature cocktail, a reindeer. What was it? Reindeer. I can't remember what it's called. Um, and drinks, booze, all that kind of stuff. Everyone just hung out in the front yard with the trees lit up. We did a joy to the world and lit the reindeer up. But we bought the wagons. That's what we bought, Monica. We went. My sister and I are. Todd does not like me and my sister going shopping together because we end up coming back with the most random stuff. We went to Home Depot, but it was sale of the century. We find good stuff. We found these like heavy duty, like metal, like utility carts that for whatever reason were marked down from like $200 to like $39, something ridiculous like that. We come home with. We actually had to put one in. Come home, go get the other one. And Todd's like, "What?" That was 2 years ago that I bought the tree. And Todd's like, or Claire narked on me. But you hear her laughing at the door. She's at the door right now. You want to come in? The door's unlocked. Just open it slowly. Open it slowly though, because you don't knock the light. Come on, people want to see you. But then I was saying that my office got broken into like a minute before the party started. So me and my brother-in-law Mike went to check it out, and the police were there, and they're kind of like, "What's up with this erection crew T-shirt thing?"
Didn't want Mike to bring a badge.
So yes, come on.
To bring the bat.
Yeah. Hey everybody.
Hey.
Do you love the reindeer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm ready for the sled.
The sled, I know. So the plans that we have for the reindeer have a sled, and they are big enough for humans to sit in. But Todd has already said we're not going to do it. I don't think we're going to, because instead of 8 sheets of plywood, like these reindeer take 8 sheets, it takes like 14 sheets of plywood. And I don't know where we're going to store all that. And it's much more thing. Monica told me today, by the way, that she still has Christmas presents for last year for you under her tree.
Oh.
You know, because we have not seen them in a year, like a year last month, I think.
Oh my gosh! Ship them to me, and I'll open them.
You know, will you pay? Will you use your Greenlight card to pay for the shipping fees?
Sure.
Sure. We got it covered. Everyone's saying hi.
Wait, hi.
Monica and Esmer, who I went to high school with, and Sandy, and Mama, Graham's Monica. Yeah, she said she'll send them to you. We'll figure it out.
No, I'm saying yeah.
We'll figure it out. So what else was I gonna? No, there's something on here. I don't want you in here for. So go.
No.
Or you can listen at the door at least. Then I won't actually be talking about it with you in the room. Go, Claire, please. Please. And now people are like, "What's he gonna talk about?" No, get out of my crafting closet. There's also presents in there. I do not spoil. No, If you spoil your present, you lose that one and another one.
Bye. Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. And Monica's saying, "Nope, you have to get the gifts in person." We'll work on that. There's a whole backstory about that, but we'll work on that. So, interestingly enough, this morning started off with a conversation with a friend from college who texted me about, I think it was this morning. Maybe it was yesterday morning. But this week I've been thinking about this. She was like, "Hey, when are your kids getting their HPV shots? And are you going to do them?" And all that stuff. Claire, go away. You know what this is. HPV shots, right? And all of that stuff. And I was like, and some people's doctors do them when the kids are 11. Our doctor does it when the kids are 12. Because I think there's a whole bunch of other shots that they get at the same time. And he's like, "I'm just going to poke them all at the same time." And also, it just makes it less terrifying if the shots are kind of spread out, right? But anyway, so then we started talking about like sex and stuff, like, because she was telling me that one of her neighbors has tongue cancer from HPV, which then puts a lot of vivid things in my mind, right? Think about that. I think that Michael Douglas, doesn't he claim that he had throat cancer from HPV also? but he was very vulgar and very upfront in the way that he got it, right? So it made me think about that. And she was like, and so the conversation continued. She's like, so have you talked about sex with your kids? I'm like, yes, we have actually. We've had a very, I'm very upfront with my kids about stuff like that. I mean, not Claire's making barf noises at the door. It's not like I don't like prompt the conversations, but if a question's asked, I'm gonna answer it very straightforward, right? So that kind of always that. And then one of the things though that I have told the kids about sex, right? And this is kind of a random thing after talking about reindeer and to-do lists and all that stuff, is the concept of enthusiastic consent. I don't know where I heard this. I did not make this up, but I don't know where I heard this. But the concept of enthusiastic consent. Do y'all know what this is? This is basically, it sums it up where if you're a boy and you're wanting to have sex, because boys always want to have sex. If you're a boy wanting to have sex with a girl, it needs to be she needs to be like, hell yeah, let's get it on. Boom. Right? And don't listen to it then. Leave the door. Go into your room. She's like whining. Why am I listening to this? So enthusiastic and on the flip side, we've told the girl that don't ever feel pressured into having sex ever. And it's too young right now anyway, but we're just trying to implant this soon. It has to be, it's not, it is, you should not do it if you're just like, oh, well, I guess I should. I mean, he did buy me something, or I guess I should, or, I mean, I feel bad for him. It needs to be a, yes, let's get it on. Enthusiastic consent. Do y'all subscribe to that? Actually, I'm not sure after marriage that there's much enthusiasm about it. I always have said the number one way to end gay sex is to allow gay marriage. Mm. Mm. So, Monica's saying, I think Sterling, her son, got his first round at 11. Yeah, ours does it at 12. I guess I should. He did buy me some. Isn't like dating basically just prostitution sometimes? I mean, I feel like in a lot of situations, I mean, I can think back on like my early days. I'm like, well, he was nice and that dinner was expensive and blah, blah, blah. So maybe I should give him a little above the sweater action, right? My mother and my sister are watching right now. My daughter's possibly listening at the door. So I'm going to be a little bit muted on that. But yeah, it's a good way to explain it. Like, it is a great phrase. And I don't remember, I think my friend Joe England is actually the one who I saw her talk about it or something, but it is great. It needs to be like a yes, 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 let's do it. Go, go, go situation, not a, well, I don't really feel right about this, but you know, everyone else is doing it, you know. Not why I sound like Agnes Gooch doing that. And if you got that reference, you are my people. If you know who Agnes Gooch is, I love you so much. And for those of you who don't, it is a supporting character from my very favorite movie of all time, Auntie Mame, which would explain a lot about my life. And she is just this kind of like, I don't know, what do you call, like a wallflower who is her secretary, but then lives, and then it's crazy. So Agnes Gooch. I did not expect to say that word today, that phrase. And then what else was I going to talk about today? I made my list. Hang on, let me look. I've got a list over there too. Oh, the boy with the painted fingernails. Trevor, God, what's his name? Trevor something. So there's this boy. I don't know if you've heard about this. You probably have. This boy in Clyde, Texas, population 2,700, something tiny, teeny, tiny like that, outside of Abilene, Texas, which Abilene, Texas is where, like, isn't like that the home of Church of Christ, or like it's super conservative Texas. And so there's this boy there, adorable blonde, cute hair, could have been me younger. He's got a better body than I did when I was growing up. I weighed 115 pounds when I graduated high school. So, and I currently weigh like 210. So that's the difference. But so he started painting his fingernails, right? And then his school said, you can't do that. That's against the dress code. You can either fix your nails, or we're going to put you in school suspension. So an ISS, in school suspension. and he chose in-school suspension, and it has since made a big deal. Aaron is saying I'm from that area. Isn't this weird? So I actually, one of the colleges that I randomly applied to because someone recommended it, I'd never heard of it, was Abilene Christian. Man, that is a fucking bullet that I dodged, isn't it? That I ended up at SMU instead. But and I think Church of Christ, isn't that the church that everyone is out there? Like it's big there. So anyway, so he chose in-school suspension, but then started making a stink about this on social media. And surprisingly, so I have other friends who are not too far from there, like live out in that general panhandle area or whatever. And it was a lot more supportive than you would expect. So here's what I think: if you are a true conservative, this is what you should say. Now I'm going to shoot you to death on this one. If you are a true conservative, your response should be, does he like it? Is it hurting me? No, not my business. Literally, it's none of my business is like, should be the bumper sticker for conservatives, right? But it's not. It's a lot of people are like, why are you shoving it down my throat? Which is always a funny phrase to me when you're talking about gay issues. Why are you shoving it down my throat? Why are you throwing it in my face and all that kind of stuff? It's not. Literally, it comes down to, I always tell the kids this: there's no such things as boy things and girl things. If you like it, it's just your thing. That's what I always tell them. If you like it, it's just your thing. I mean, I always say this: I like a painted fingernail. I love my toenails are painted at this moment. I love a scarf. I ordered a new caftan yesterday. Like, I like a lot of these things. None of it means I want to cut my dick off. None of it means that I think I'm in the wrong body or anything like that. I just like the things I like, right? And so, so this kid though is like making a stink, and a lot of people though have been very supportive, saying, "Well, you know what? Is it about nail polish? Because if nail polish is allowed, then nail polish is allowed, right?" So, and Arlene, who's watching, one of my favorite people on the planet, right there, Arlene Manthe. Can't believe you applied there. I know. I don't remember why. I think that just someone in my circle of influence was like, they have a great PR program, and we're like, you should check it out, right? I did, and they actually offered me a great scholarship too. SMU was better, and obviously SMU was better for me. But can you imagine? That is one of those like open door, closed door things. Had I picked that, because the other school, I wasn't actually, I was never seriously considering that school. My serious considerations were I got into the American University in Washington D.C. with as good of a scholarship as SMU was offering me. Just could not logistically get it worked out because my dad and stepmom at the time, who was an evil woman, did not want me going away to college. They wanted me to stay at community college in Edinburgh, Texas. Nope, not happening. And so SMU was top of my list. TCU was on the list too, and they gave me a really good package as well. I just liked SMU's campus a lot better. I thought it's a gorgeous campus. If you can't leave Texas for college and you want like an Ivy League look to a campus, SMU is your option. That's basically what it comes down to. And then Abilene Christian, and then Texas Tech, they gave me a really big package. What turned me off to Tech is that actually before I got my acceptance letter, I actually got the Greek like rush kit, and I was like, no, that's not my thing. That's not my thing. But my God, your life would have turned out so differently if you'd gone to college. I cannot even imagine. I'd probably be dead right now. I don't know. Either because I caught something, shot myself in the head, or drank myself to death. I don't know. I just cannot even imagine. Can you like this in Abilene, Texas? That's why I feel bad for this Trevor kid. At least he's got like influences outside of internet. Was not invented when I went to college. We didn't have cable television. I'd never even seen Fox like in living color until I went to college, because the Valley did not have Fox unless you had cable, which we did not growing up. Isn't that crazy? So anyway, let me see what y'all are saying, because that's all I got on my list. Crystal is saying I had a very funny but great conversation with my mother after my first time. This is deep. I was so excited and happy and wanted to call and tell her about it. She was excited for me and asked, how was it? Then immediately remembered I was her daughter and said, don't answer that. At least you're excited about, right? I know a lot of people who are like, ooh, well, that was awkward or that didn't work. And Monica's asking, how are his parents handling it? You know what? I have not seen anything about that, but I'm assuming based on because these nails were not something that just like I do, where you just paint them one night. Like they were like nail art and all that kind of stuff. And it seemed like I mean, there's no way he could have hidden this from his parents. So I don't know. They must be supportive or totally absent or just don't know whether to wind their butt or scratch their watch. I don't know, but or scratch their watch and wind their butt. That's a Steel Magnolia reference right there. But good for them. Good for them. You know, I came out to my sister in a Walmart, the furniture section of the Walmart and the Walmarts in Marble Falls, Texas, over Thanksgiving. That's when it was. I think it was, or was it your high school graduation? Maybe. I think she think it was high school graduation, and did it. And my first thing was I was like, but don't tell mom. And she goes, mom already knows. Mom has always known. And then which made that next conversation with my mother, who's watching right now, very awkward because we both, I'm sure, knew what the big topic of the conversation was. Not that this was any great secret. I mean, I was the tallest, gayest, it was graduation, my sister's confirming. I was the tallest, gayest, whitest thing in 3 counties, is what I always say. And I've always had a hand on a hip, leg cocked out, tossing some hair. Yeah. Oh, wow. I always say this. I did not think I was going to have enough content for today's show, and here we are, actually going a little bit over. So let me look real quick and make sure I did not miss any of y'all's comments. Alrighty. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. Love is so important. I love that you watch this. This is my daily therapy. Thank you very much for this gift that you've given me. I need to count the episodes again. I think we hit 100 like a while back. So I don't know where we are right now. We may be approaching 150 soon. My birthday is Monday. I cannot believe that. I will hopefully have some news for you about a cool like partnership I'm doing that involves maybe paralyzing part of my face. I'm not kidding, y'all. But anyway, so and with that, I am going to say bye, and I will see you tomorrow at 4:30 for another. Carrie, are you gonna? I think Carrie's gonna be here because she wanted to. I don't know. I've not confirmed with her, and I don't think she's watching right now. But and my mother is saying, I've known since you were very, very young. This is like a conversation with my mom on the phone. Like goes back to it. My mom. So when I was like 5 years old, maybe younger, I was watching The Wizard of Oz and just melting down at the end about Dorothy can't get home, Mama. Dorothy can't get home. And you once told me that that's when you knew. That's when you knew. And P.S. That is the gayest thing ever. Friend of Dorothy is what it's called in our circles. So Claire's like, I thought you said you were almost done. Okay. With that, bye. I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say?